getting started, guys. We are going to talk about Jamie Lee Curtis. She had a tweet that went up. It was an infographic. It says, "I will protect trans kids." It says, the Halloween franchise star made her thoughts clear with a simple post on social media. It says, "I will say gay and I will protect trans kids."
Brave.
None of them have read that bill.
That's
I guarantee.
so stunning.
No, it's the wait till they're 8 bill.
Seven pages long, and none of them read the damn bill.
It's, the bill is literally wait till they're 8. That's what it is. You can't. It literally is like, all right, we're not going to have
8 is the new
conversations with
18.
them. Well, it's like don't have conversations with them about these things in the classroom until they're at least 8, and also don't have secret conversations with kids about sex and then tell them they can't tell their parent that. The idea that is not the most abundantly reasonable thing in the world is unfortunately not that shocking to me, given the left and how they behave and their. Their desire to tear down all sexual taboos, including the taboo against pedophilia.
There have been some horrifying stories of what's happening in schools right now. I saw one, I don't know what has developed about it yet, but there was a 6-year-old girl who got sexually abused by her classmates in front of her own teacher, and it was recorded on a school iPad, and the whole thing was hidden from her parents.
Yeah, and I believe that let me double check this because I believe there was some school employee there who had been.
But anyway,
they're also talking about an actress named Marcia Gay Harden who says all 3 of her children are queer.
I will elaborate that Jamie Lee Curtis has a photo, a painting of a naked dead child in her office, just hanging up casually, and also has a son, who identifies as MTF. So that will provide some context for why she's so preachy about gender. She also claimed that she wanted her Oscar award to have they them pronouns.
Yeah, well, that's maybe the cringiest out of all of it.
It's just like, hello, fellow kids.
Yeah. No. Well, do you think part of it at least arises in her perspective, assuming that if we were to give her the most charitable definition, of course, I'm not giving her this. If we were to give her the most charitable definition of a woman who just wants to love her kids unconditionally, would that be an argument that could have been made if we weren't already aware that a lot of these celebrities are so steeped in ideology?
You can say, yeah, she would have good intentions behind what she's saying, but real love for her kid who is so confused about identity and gender and stuff is not to affirm.
Exactly.
It's to
I think that's a very hard thing. I want to make right, but I'm saying in today's society, that narrative is spun and pushed on everyone all the time. That you have to accept everyone exactly the way they are, and it's pushed by the people in that industry.
Unconditional positive regard, right? Yes. The idea that anything anyone does has to be praised as long as what they're doing is not out of line with left-wing orthodoxy.
And Hollywood is at the forefront.
There's a question that's always asked. This is very interesting. Whenever anyone asserts a moral principle, all sorts of questions come up about the culpability of people who might violate that principle. So it is wrong to mutilate children. It is wrong to push children down the path of sexual perversion. And whenever you point that out, people say, well, what about the parents who are legitimately confused because the culture has lied to them? Well, we can ask other questions about other scenarios. In countries where female genital mutilation is normal and accepted, are the parents who have been inculcated and indoctrinated by that culture into thinking that that's an acceptable thing to do to their daughter, are they culpable? I'm not interested in that question. I'm interested in stopping it from happening.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first thing you could start doing is tearing down industries like Hollywood if you want to get the messaging pushed back, because that seems to be where a lot of this is pushed from.
I think a lot of people, this surprised me, were critical in her comment section.
Yeah.
One person said, another actor who feels their opinion on other people's children overrides the parents' wishes. # cancel Hollywood. Another one said, protect them from doing something to themselves as a child that they may regret as an adult. This is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They have to know on some level too. Like, here's the thing. So I mentioned countries where genital mutilation is acceptable. Unfortunately, the United States is one of those countries now. And basically every country that practices this kind of thing where they mutilate children's anatomy in that way, they almost all groom the children into seeing it as a normal, acceptable thing, just like our culture is currently doing.
Thank you.
But the one thing that could be said for people in that culture is they were born and raised in a culture that taught that was normal. 5 years ago, everyone knew this was wrong, and people are still doing it. So to me, it's very difficult for me to understand how anyone could have an excuse.
With your comparison to FGM, that's actually something I've seen Westerners still make excuses for because they're cultural relativists. Yep. And I've been in a situation myself in like high school where I got into an argument with like the rest of my classroom about this. And I said, like, do you really think that FGM is okay just because this culture accepts it as okay?
Thank you.
And they
guys.
said, well, who are we as Westerners to tell them what to do? It's their culture.
Yeah.
You have to respect it because it's their culture, and that's genuinely what they believe.
But then you know what the perfect response to that is, or one of the many responses to that is, who are you to tell me as a Westerner with morals that I can't call out immoral behavior? Because it is ultimately a tyranny of relativism. I can identify that something in the world is wrong and point that out without some smarmy college student saying, who are we to judge? Well, who are you to judge the fact that I'm judging the behavior? Mm-hmm. If you tell me that I have no right to say genital mutilation is wrong, then you certainly have no right to tell me that saying genital mutilation is wrong is wrong.
I also wanted to bring up the example of a child actor who was in The Good Doctor.
Yep.
We reacted to this clip from its first season where this actor was 14 years old at the time and played a transgender patient, male to female identifying, who had testicular cancer, I believe, or prostate cancer, something like that.
Yes.
And it was this very contentious issue in that episode because the protagonist has autism. He was, in a very socially contentious way, pointing out that this person is biologically male, therefore this is a boy. Yep. And none of the other doctors wanted to agree with him about it or hear him out on what he was saying, especially in front of the patient. And this debate about this clip and what it meant was going on for a week or so, but I didn't see a response from that actor, who is now, I believe, like around my age. Yep. But finally, I saw a response from, I guess, hers Twitter account. Yeah. Saying, "This is me now, cry about it, bigots," and posted a couple of selfies where this is, I guess, what you would call a passing trans person.
Yes.
But it's because your male puberty was intentionally blocked and reversed. Yeah. And then someone said, "You look female but still male. I hope you can transition back safely." And this quote tweet said, "I don't give an F what I am. The reality is transitioning young allowed me to prevent male development and instead develop more in line with a biological female. I'm so grateful for it. Once again, cry. Hashtag facts over feelings." That's a bizarre appropriation.
There's a $20 one there when you're done.
Okay. And then another post was pictures of this actor from the age of that they were when they were on the show, saying, "Women come in a variety of shapes and sizes, but sure, here's me with no filler and no makeup at 14, showing some headshots." Yeah. But it's like, what are you trying to prove? Like, if you are so secure in your identity and you are so secure in your womanhood, then why are you trying to get affirmation and validation and attention onto how you look from thousands of people?
It's true of anyone who always has to respond to one of these things where somebody says something negative about them. They're like, "I don't care," and I don't care so much that
Also,
I'm going to tell you how much I don't care.
Clear that I don't care. Yeah. I'm going to not care loudly.
Exactly.
It's like, hey, people don't not care about things loudly.
Deuce Boogaloo said, "To clarify, I was saying Christians in Vinland Saga claim that human love preferences some over others and is therefore not true love. Seamus, can you please do reaction videos to the series?
That's
interested in your perspective."
All right, it's actually not
so Vinland
inauthentic to love some. It's actually not inauthentic to love some people over other people or some things over other things. By the way, and this is something that's true of God as well. I love Saint Teresa of Lisieux describes it this way, where each person is like a differently sized container to be able to fit God's love. God just pours his love over all of us, but different people have a different capacity to accept that, right? And so the Blessed Virgin Mary is more worthy of love than like your average guy on the streets, even though you should love him tremendously too. There's nothing inauthentic about loving something or someone more worthy of love.
Okay.
Or giving more love to someone more worthy of love.
Okay.
So Vinland Saga, that's
I've never seen that.
That's a video series. That's interesting.
Okay. And another point I'll add is that Jamie Lee Curtis's son is also into fetishes that involve children. I guess I should just come out and say it. It's like ABDL.
Yeah.
It's adult diapers.
Oh,
stuff.
that's okay.
Weird stuff.
Super
And this
gross.
is like, you can see the intersection of a lot of different types of deviancy, and this is exactly what Hollywood is promoting and normalizing under the guise of letting kids be kids. And it's really disgusting, especially someone as mainstream as Jamie Lee Curtis and someone who's been in the industry for as long as she has. At a time when it was a lot more normal, at least on the surface.
I remember there used to be
She's now
like,
promoting the most of its insanity.
There used to be like conspiracy theories that she was intersex back in the day.
Why is that?
I like, cause she had.
I mean, she's not the most feminine looking woman, but I mean, that kind of points out the flaw in what she's saying and what all of these ideologies are saying. What makes a woman isn't her secondary sex characteristics. It's not how sexy she looks or how affable you deem her to be or what you rate her on a 1 to 10 scale or whether there's a hole in her.
And hold on, but we...
Sorry.
There's a biological and spiritual reality.
This is just virtue signaling at the end of the day anyways. I don't know how much
this is very personal to her, though, because of her child.
It's I still see it as like, but to the average person, it's just going to come across as virtue signaling. There's nothing to be gained.
I don't know about that. I don't know if the average person is able to sniff that out.
I'm saying it should be seen as virtue signaling. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.